Hello loves, welcome. I hope you're having a great Sunday so far, or Monday if you're watching this, or any other day. So today I am going to my friend's house and I'm sleeping over, and she is my college best friend that I've known for so long. I think we're about to celebrate our 10-year anniversary, and this is a pretty big achievement for us because of course we've been through our ups and downs, but like any friendship, but we've been through so much together, and she's getting married very soon, so I am sleeping over at her place before she moves in with her husband. So this is kind of going to be a little bit of a, trip back to childhood / girlhood kind of sleepover, and I'm very excited to see her. Also, I will probably have a video with her depending on how everything goes, so be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, I am very excited to just go ahead and deep dive and get ready. I am gonna keep this a little light and simple because later today we are also going to her friend's baby shower. I actually haven't been to any baby showers unless it was my family's baby shower. So yeah, I'm very excited. I've always been to a Korean baby shower, but I've never been to an Americanized baby shower. So very exciting how Koreans do it. We do it a little bit differently, and it's a little bit more traditional. So I'm excited to kind of see the American version of a baby shower. But I have everything with me, and this is my mirror right here, so if I'm looking this way, that's the reason why. I'm going to start off with my cushion packed. This is the S-Bar cushion packed. This is Silk Skin Layer Cushion. It already has SPF, and I've already put on lotion and moisturizer. And apologies for my hair, kind of looks like a nest because I still haven't done my hair yet, but that's okay. And I have my little pin to pin up the bangs that's outgrowing already my face. I talked about this in the last video, but I love cushions because they're so easy to put on, and it's basically a foundation inside this little cushion packed, so I can put my foundation on probably in less than 5 seconds. But actually, I just remembered, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of my favorite concealer. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Radiant Concealer, and this is my favorite concealer because it gives a little bit of that glow, and I like to put a lot of my concealers focusing on my under eyes. Also, I kind of changed a little bit of the lighting. Not sure if you're able to see the difference. To kind of, you should be able to see more details of my skin because the lighting is a little bit better. But those are just some of the dark areas that I like to highlight. And when it comes to foundation, I don't like to overdo the foundation in the beginning. That's why I like to just put a very thin layer of concealer prior to putting more foundation on, because I've noticed that over time my foundation, no matter what foundation I use, ends up looking a little greasy, and around the nose it becomes really dry. So I like to just start off a little smaller and then build my way up. And I do have a little bit of discoloration from my microblading that I got done from Korea. So I'm trying to kind of cover those kind of leftover scars that I got. I have been breaking out again on my chin, so probably just some hormonal or diet related breakouts, so trying to watch my diet a little bit more. My husband and I have been recently brewing our own tea and making it into an iced drink. So way back, I used to work at a cafe where we brewed usually 10 pitchers of tea, and I told him, honestly, instead of us going out to buy green tea or peach green tea, why don't we make our own, because it's so simple. So recently we got 2-liter pitchers that we brew like 2 or 3 bags of teas, and then I just put some ice cubes and water. As simple as that sounds, especially in the summer and springtime, it is so refreshing. And I've been loving it, and we've been drinking it morning and day, and even evening as well with our dinners. Next, I'm gonna go in with powder to kind of set everything on the face. I usually don't put powder on right away if I'm using like a cream product, but today I'm going to be skipping all those cream products and go straight into blush. And I've actually did not know that when you use powder blush, it's best to set your face with loose powder first, because it can stick on better rather than putting your blush on then powder. I always thought the powder was more of a sealer, but I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but they said that you should definitely always powder, then put your powder products. I'm using the powder from Huda Beauty. This was gifted by my brother's girlfriend, and she really loves makeup too, so we talk about makeup things and what are the trends these days. She recommended how this will last her all day when she's out. So I have been using it, and I think it's been over a year or 2 since I've been using it, and I still have not even hit a fraction of the powder. Like, that's how much powder is in here, so you really get your money's worth in these kind of loose type powders. And there is a mesh here as well, so I like to use this Laura Mercier powder puff. It's huge, but I like to just go in there. It kind of smells like grandma's makeup smell, that kind of baby powder smell. But regardless, it just works really well on the skin, and it's not too mattifying, which I like too, so it doesn't completely take away from the shine of the show. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with my contour. I like to use Korean contours because, one, I have fair skin, and a lot of the Korean contours that I use are a little bit more on the lighter gray side rather than very orange. Personally, for my cool tone skin, I like to just use really contour is more for kind of grayer tones, right? Just to slimify my face rather than bring color. So I will use my big fluffy brush that I think I bought almost 20 years ago. This is one of my first ever products I bought. Maybe 15 years ago actually, but 15-20 years ago at CVS when I had a coupon. The Eco Tools brush was popular for the longest time. I still think it is, and honestly, I think if you have some good set of brushes, you don't need to replace them for a while. So I think that's really the benefit. So that's really all. I just go all throughout my face. sometimes if there's any kind of harsher lines, I like to just blend it out with my cushion pack again. I do also like to put a little bit of contour powder on my nose as well, just to make the bridge of my nose look a little bit taller. I just looked at my watch and I think I have like 10 minutes left. I did get my brows done, but sometimes I still like to fill in some of the gaps because I still have some gaps here and there. And I like to just elongate my eyebrows a little bit more too, so I'll go ahead and elongate my eyebrows. Make sure they look nice and kind of thin and frames my face. I really do think that I went through a crazy brow journey over the last 5 years where I think I've had microblading almost 2 or 3 times, and the way your brows look changes how your face kind of appears as well, so definitely a huge lesson for me. Talked about this in my last video as well, but I got this from Korea. This is the Clinique Cheek Pop in color Ballerina Pop. A lot of pops, but this is a very beautiful light dusty pink color with very small shimmers. So I like to just go in with the big fluffy brush that I have. And since this is such a light color blush, I like to just dab it everywhere, focusing on the center, and then just going ham on adding color. That's really it. Nothing's too specific, and just making sure that I can just add the color as needed. You can see, you could probably even tell there's no difference, but I personally like it because, again, it's just kind of a blushing from within color. And I also talked about this in my last video as well. This is the Cezanne highlighter. Sorry if I'm blinding you, but it's a really beautiful imprint on the highlight. Comes with a little brush that I actually use as well. So I like to just dab a little bit, and it's a very iridescent powder, as you can see. That's, to me, it's very similar to the Selena Gomez Rare Beauty powder in the color Enlighten, I think. One of the lightest shade, and I've used that. Fortunately, that cracked on me, and I switched to this. I really don't think there's much of a difference. If anything, I actually feel like this is the more everyday, natural version of that, if you've been kind of looking for an everyday highlight. So I really love, I've just been really loving adding that kind of highlight to my face because it just makes my face look very healthy. Alright, next we're going to go in straight into our eyeshadow. I'm going for a little bit of a pinky look. So let's go ahead and use my eyeshadow brush. Blanked out a little bit on what this is called. I'm going to use the medium pink shade, the dark shade for my outer corners, and then use this for my inner corners. And then maybe I'll use a little bit at the topper as well. But this is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk powder, eyeshadow powder palette that I've used. I don't even know how long. I think this was my first ever palette I bought when I got my first ever paycheck in college when I was working as an RA, so I would say this not only holds a memory to me, but it's lasted a very long time. And when it comes to any of these kind of powder products, I really don't think you need to get a whole lot of them. That's just my personal opinion, because they take so long to finish unless you wear makeup every single day and tons of it. So it is pretty hard to kind of go through all of it, especially in a few years sitting. So whenever I see these people online who says, oh, I did a, what do you call it, a project pan where they used all of their makeup, in some ways I'm very impressed, because it is quite hard to finish all of makeup, especially the powder ones. I really love this rose gold highlight here as well. See, it kind of has that metallic shade. I love putting this on the top of my eyes because it gives this kind of iridescent, I'm not sure if you're able to see it, but it has this iridescent gold glitter that it adds, and it's one of my favorites. It's the classic palette. I do usually put a little bit of eyeshadow again after I finish my eyeliner and my mascara and everything, so I'm just gonna keep that open in case I need to come back to it. But I am gonna go in with my brown, it's kind of like a light chocolate brown eyeliner. This is from Stila, and it is the Stay All Day Waterproof. I don't even know what I'm showing you, but this is a pen liner, which I personally like. It's just a lot easier to kind of navigate through my eyes, and it lasts all day since it is waterproof. So naturally, I usually have my eyeliner pointing down, because that's just kind of how my eyes naturally fall. So I follow the natural curvature of the eyes. But I have been kind of liking still lifting it a little bit, otherwise it looks too droopy. Okay, that's the eyeliner, and I am just gonna, what I usually do these days when I'm out all day, as in I'm in and out almost 12 hours all day, I will bring the eyeliner I use that day, because I have monolids and they tend to smudge a lot on me. So I like to use this makeup sealer. I'm not sure if you've seen this before, but this is a sealer that basically seals your makeup for you. I like to wait until the very end before it has dried to put that. It's kind of like a setting spray, but stronger. Next, I'm gonna go in. I'm trying to think of what I haven't done now. Okay, mascara. I have my eyelash curler with me right now. I'm gonna go ahead and just curl my eyelashes so they're not completely pointing down. And I am gonna put some falsies on as well. So just need them up enough that I can get my mascara to kind of stick with the rest of my falsies. I've been using this eyelash serum for quite a while now, and I see a huge difference in the way my eyelashes are growing. I got eyelash extensions for like the second or first time in my life a few months ago, and it was a total fail. I think the person I went to wasn't familiar with how to put eyelash extensions on my face, which is totally fine, but yeah, I don't think it's something that I would get. Eyelashes, I really love the way they look, but these are eyelashes from Don Quixote. They are just really pretty anime style lashes. gonna put 2 pairs on, and I don't need to cut a whole lot of them because they're made to fit for Asian style eyes. So I'm getting a little of this lash glue. This is the lash glue that I got from Daiso in Japan. I haven't used this at all, so we will test this out to the full. See how long it'll last. I think I put a little bit too much glue. They are burning my eyes a little bit. I think it's sticking on my face. You kind of see the difference already. I don't know how good this glue is, so just in case, I'm gonna bring my other glue. But I actually put my lashes on top of my current lashes because that way it kind of lifts a little bit better. I will say this is definitely not the best glue because it's already peeling off like crazy right now. I'm gonna pause on the lashes, and I think I will put them on a little later. I'm gonna go in with this gloss that I have. This is a Romand gloss in number 4, Grape Way. I love how sticky this gloss is, but it's really not sticky on your lips. That's the gloss, and it's so pretty, and it smells like candy, which is my favorite. And that's it. That's it for the video. Sorry if it felt really rushed, but I hope you enjoyed today's video. I will try to link everything down in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much.